Hola, it's me, Didi Fuego, and welcome to another ravishing episode of Deep Dives Early Outs. Today, it's a very, very special episode because we have another iconic pork chop in the Drag Race universe. Now, before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel, like this video, comment, do all those things so that I get to do this for you more, and so that more people get to see the amazing conversations that we're having with these queens. From season 14, we have the soft musical stylings of June Jambalaya, the queen of its chocolate. It is an honor to speak to her because she is one of the sweetest queens, I think, in Drag Race history. She is another queen that her story got cut short, so I'm so excited to speak to her. Welcome to the stage, June Jambalaya. I'm so excited to speak to you. It's been like a back and forth of when we could do it, so I'm just really, really grateful that you've made the time. For real.
Of course. That's what sisters are doing it for themselves.
Exactly. The sisters. So it is with great honor that I may reveal to you that I am not just a Drag Race sister, but also I am the sister of a pork chop experience. It is us. It is we. We have a very...
We keep the legacy going.
We're keeping the legacy going. Mm-hmm. Even though like our time was cut short, I feel like I see examples of people like you and I'm like, life had just begun. And I'm at a place right now that I'm like, I haven't even been announced, you know? So I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
I felt the exact same way. Well, I hadn't been doing drag that long before I went on the show. It was my first time auditioning. I didn't really have a background or a repertoire or, a collection of things to do. Because, I literally been doing drag 8 months before I auditioned for Drag Race.
Oh, my God.
When I went to film the show, I had hit my year. I'd been doing drag for a year. So I didn't really have a nice piece or, a gown and all those things. I started with, a leotard and a dream. And
but I know that fashion was important to you. And on the show that they talk about, you liked fashion. So you would buy fashionable pieces.
Yeah, I worked at Bloomingdale's as a stylist.
You did? Okay, wait. We gotta take it all the way back. Okay, so let's talk about your beginning. Before you get on Drag Race, before this is June Jambalaya, what is calling you about drag? Where did your artistry begin? Take me to those moments where you're starting to find this artist within.
I studied dance my whole, throughout my elementary, middle, and high. And then I graduated and then I went to an performing arts school, AMDA. And then that's, me and Cornbread went to school together. Once you graduate, you go through that weird phase, especially when you graduate with a BFA, you're like, okay, is this really going to be what I do? But what am I going to use to survive while I pursue what I want? Yeah. And so I always loved, fashion and clothes. And I was always just obsessed with real women. And I think that's the core of drag is female illusion. Mm-hmm. And so I went and started working at Bloomingdale's, a department store. And I was just, styling, what led to other opportunities. And then I met other queens that worked in the department store. Some worked at MAC, of course, and some, worked at all the places. And I started choreographing for them. So that was my introduction to drag. I was choreographing for drag queens, and WeHo came up, and then one of the queens was like, "Oh, you should do it. You love makeup. You love fashion and drag." And I did it, and I won. And then they invited me to do the 12-week competition, and then I won the $5,000 12-week competition. And I was just like, oh, maybe this could be my outlet. Since I'm not dancing or doing anything, I'm I'll work my job and this is my outlet. Fast forward, the pandemic happens.
During the pandemic, were you able to work at Bloomingdale's or was that also?
No, so everything shut down. I had my last show, I believe it was March 11th at Hamburger Mary's WeHo. There was 4 people there and 3 were my friends.
Right, because at that point they had already started to
and then March 12th, everything was shut down.
Yes! Walk me now. It's 2020. It's March, April, May, June, July. You are sitting in your house. No drag, no Bloomingdale's.
Monique Hart, she started doing virtual shows. Like,
Yeah.
that's when virtual drag took over.
Oh, baby, I of course know about
Yes, and
that.
then it was then the whole BLM movement. I had so many friends that were also dancing
Mhm.
that could not dance and could not do anything. And I was like, oh, let's like create. I want to do a virtual performance, and so I did a
Amazing.
virtual performance, and then that went like semi-viral with like the small community I had,
But
and
still, there's
then
like a
that was
validation when.
yeah, that was like something like, oh wait, who is she? And then I was just like, I wonder what does it take to put on an audition tape? Because I
Mhm.
was watching Simone at the time.
Yeah.
And I was watching her season. And I was just like, I wonder, like, what does it take, like, to sign up and the screenings and all of that? So I was like, I say, I know I'm not going to get on, but I'm
But
just
let me
like
just
going to
see.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just see, like, what's the process. And
Wow.
so I'm very good at visuals. I'm very
Yes.
good at,
Mhm.
putting a piece of something together. And that was like my thing. And so I put a tape on.
That's wild. I auditioned 10 times and once for Drag Race Mexico. And to hear of girls that start drag 8 months later land on the show, I'm like, wow, you must have been able to show yourself that quickly. Like I see those first tapes of mine and I'm like, it was me, but I wasn't showing myself in the videos. Like it wasn't translating. Did you feel proud of the tape you submitted?
I like really do pride myself on being like a true female illusionist. I'm inspired by housewives. I'm inspired by my aunts. I'm inspired by my mom. Like I love drag queens. I do. I am one, but
Yeah.
I love women. And
Right.
like we are here by women. We were created by women. We are this worth moves by women. Like
Mhm.
I am just inspired by like the essence of a woman. And that's kind of what I felt like I really put forward in my tape, like, that's, I'm here to sell content. Like,
And that is what you serve. That is what you served every single second of it. You also have this beautiful voice that when you see it in the picture of your drag, it's pussy. Like it really is woman. Let's talk about it a little bit. You get the call. You did not want it. You were like, well, let's see what happens.
I didn't think I was worthy of it, and I'll be
Right.
honest.
Okay.
I was very, very, very new. It was just me, my friends that were all dancers, and us just trying to like figure it out.
It's such a feat to get the audition tape in. There's like so many requirements. And then it's also
Mhm.
a crazy ordeal to get the
The
package
package.
prepared.
I didn't know any designers. Like I knew like a few, and like I had not commissioned before I went to Drag Race. I had never commissioned a
Right.
costume.
A lot of the girls, even if they work all the time, they're like, we're wearing bar clothes, we're wearing performance clothes.
Yeah.
And you get the list of all the runways, and it's like, how do we create runway moments, not just like wear
Yeah.
drag to be
And
wear.
everything from my audition tape was rented.
Where were you renting from? The costume houses?
Yes, my friend worked as a stylist and I used to be a stylist assistant. And I was just like, hey, I'm going to do this tape. And he brought over racks and racks and racks of clothing.
Wow. So you're scrambling, you're preparing, and
Hmm.
we all get a limited time to do it. Walk me through like how you felt throughout that process.
I was working my retail job, and then I flew to Chicago to work with D'Amico Cholula because he
Mhm.
did Kimora Hall, and I
Mm,
thought her package was. Yeah, like I was like, okay, I have to work with him. Everyone knows me. I'm a bit of a material girl. So
yeah, yeah.
I started going to Fashion Files, selling some purses.
Mm,
I emptied out my savings. I was just like,
yeah.
I just poured it into it. When I got to like, when we checked in, I gave my phone to, them to get on the van and to get in. I just remember like breathing like
Yes.
that because
I
I
feel the
just
same
could not
way.
do it. I was just not breathing for the 2 weeks
Mhm.
preparing.
It's not just the preparation of like what are the runway looks that I'm bringing to the stage. It's like preparing like a talent and snatch game. So
Talent, they told us 4 days before we left.
excuse me.
During the time, 3 runways changed. We get the email that, talent show extravaganza has been added. And so, mind you, you have to give yourself at least a day to think about what the hell you're about to do.
Right. And if you
And
don't have a show that you do every month, or you haven't done a
mhm,
pageant where you've done a talent performance before, you're like, well, what can I do? And then where do I get the song? And then do I get the licensing? And it's like so many
yes.
considerations. To only get 4 days is Crazy.
I remember hiring the choreographer, but then like having to like pause for a minute because then Drag Race has to send me licensing music that we actually can choreograph to. In the beginning stage, I was getting choreographed to no music. Like we were just like, what can I do? Like, what are my strengths? What can I showcase? And then the music came like secondary.
That is incredible because at the same time they do like, okay, it's my final week to get all these runway looks ready. Wait, I have to go do rehearsals and invent the talent portion. That is wild. Anyway, that was the preparation. That's the beginning of June Jambalaya's journey from dance school to the bars. And now we're in the middle of the journey. We're on Drag Race. Let's talk about entering the workroom and the feeling of you're in your bodysuit, you're waiting behind those fabric curtains, you're hearing the girls chit chat. How are you feeling today?
So the night before, we got, the little note under the door. It said, secure your wigs and be prepared for anything. And
whoa,
I remembered Simone's season when it just happened. Mm-hmm. They walked in the workroom and they immediately had to lip sync battle in their opening outfits. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, we're going to have to lip sync battle because we had already had our iPads. So I had an outfit kind of planned, but then I was like, I need to be comfortable and it needs to be stretchy because I need to go. But I still want to like serve like, oh, I'm wearing a designer most girls haven't heard of or thought of. So I was like, oh, let me pull out this little Poochie number.
Yeah. And you're like, if you get it, you get it. And if you don't, like, I'm so sorry for you.
And then, but it's like crazy because in the hotel room, there's no full-length mirror in my room. So I never was really able to see myself.
Before you went into
I saw like from here, this was fine. But like this, I was like, I really would have rethought it now looking at it. And I was like,
Okay, so then you do the mini challenge and then they're like, you're doing talent show off the bat. Do you have memories of the mini challenge or can we talk about the talent show? Because that feels like y'all were the first ones to get this talent show for all of us.
It was one of those things where like I felt good, but like now looking back, those details, I only had 2 weeks, and then I had 4 days for the talent show. So I was like, yes, I did need a panty under that skirt. Yes, I should have, extra pinned my headband down. Like, all of those things that, again, a seasoned queen would know, but someone who's been doing this 9 months, maybe not so much. Because this is the first time I'm wearing multiple things.
But what you did do was show a talent at a level that is worthy of that main stage. Like you were not messing around. You were like, it's a specific talent and you achieved it at its highest level. And whether or not those details were correct, they couldn't come for you for your talent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No one said anything about my dancing. No one said anything about my dancing.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, okay, it is what it is.
Okay, walk me through. You're watching the talent show performances and you're seeing Willow do her talent. What's going through your mind?
It was one of those things. I was watching it. I was like, I don't understand it. And I don't think they do either, but they're either going to love it or completely hate it. But
did you see any rehearsals or just you saw it?
No, I didn't see anyone rehearsal. We only got, so the first time I'm seeing it is like when they're doing it. We didn't watch
she's actually, the bathtub is full of bubbles and she's putting in the toaster in the
stove. And I remember sitting there watching, like, there's a specific group of people that's going to get her, love her, and follow her to the end. I said, she's so herself, which I do think now with Drag Race, you have to be so authentic to you to be successful.
Yeah. Each talent show episode sees a girl go home. You're like, great, I'm not the Porkchop slay.
And then I won my first lip sync. And that's why I was just like, I wasn't sure if I was going to be in the bottom. And I was like, I wasn't sure the headband was like, bad enough to just put me in the bottom. Yeah. And I really loved my first runway. And it was a blessing and a curse. I had worked with this designer from Lebanon. And I really was like, I wanted I wanted a piece. And that was, you see those things. And so that was my first time reaching out to someone, sending my measurements. And like, it literally came in, it was too short. I set my exact measurements and they're not used to working with like a female impersonator.
Right, the proportions are different. And I thought the people there's a little bit.
Yeah, the proportions are different. And, then I also at the same time wasn't used to sending my measurements to someone and knowing like, oh, I should make this a little longer. I should make this a little bit bigger just in case, because, they're probably not going to use the fabric that, will
Pressure
holds
move
all
of
of
all of
this.
them.
Yes. But at the same time, I was like, no, bitch, this jumpsuit is skipping. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
she spent money on this. You can tell.
And it's good that you ended up wearing something that you were very proud of and you make it through, thank God. Congratulations. You're not the pork chop. Oh,
in front of
wait.
Lizzo. Yeah.
Yes! Major. That is really, I mean, how cool to be lip syncing Lizzo to Lizzo.
I remember like my first lip sync, I was just so, you know, you're present, but you're not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like I was able to just like, okay, this is it. And I just remember, I just remember all of a sudden, I just remember like pulling the tool up so I can just lip sync. And I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, I was like, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go.
Amazing.
And I did not even like I think some queens like try to interact with their other queen. Like I was like, no, she's not here right now.
You really focused on
Orion's
the lip sync and the
yeah,
performance.
Orion's story. Her story is not on the stage right now.
Yes,
I
her
don't know.
story is
But
not
yeah,
my story.
yeah, this is not her story. This is not her
Yeah.
time. This is not
Yeah.
her moment.
It was
And I
yours.
just I was like, this song is for me.
Mhm.
This lip sync is for me. And I was like, and even if I go home right now, they know she was the girl to watch.
You enter for episode 3. And then, first of all, Orion's back, and then another girl you've never met is back.
Yes, Dia.
Betty is back, and then the real competition begins. How did you feel kind of being back to square one?
I was pissed. And I remember, I know what I did to get here. So I can't even imagine, you know, what other people were going through to get here. My mind was thinking like how, you know, sad for your story to end. But at the same time, I was like, my lip sync meant nothing. That's kind of what, like, I was like, I literally
Did you win anything or just got to stay?
I just got to stay.
You didn't even get like $1,000 or a gift card to Fierce Drag shows or nothing?
Nothing.
And then they announced that the challenge this week is the ball or the balls.
Yes, the balls, because it was split in two.
It was split in two. So it's things you brought from home and then also a thing you make there.
Yeah.
But did you also bring, because it's like the 2 different balls, the 2 different styles. It was like the African.
Yes, the African wedding and then the red, white, and blue wedding.
All right, so then you're getting the materials. You love fashion, you love styling, but you've only taken one sewing class. Like, what's going on?
So I had never sewed. Like I knew how to hand stitch. Like, you know, obviously when you're assisting, you may have to hem something. You may have to like sew on the applique by hand. But I've never had to use a machine. But I took sewing lessons when I got the call because I was like, okay, I know it's going to come. So at least let me know how to, you know, work the machine. And yeah, all that went out the window when the machine was in front of my face. I was just like, I don't remember how to do any of this.
It makes sense. Also, again, it takes like experience. The thing that you did have experience in was evident. Like the styling of it, the accessories, the way you presented it, like all that was there. Girl, your season was full of twists and turns. It's chocolate.
Oh my God, I have my chocolate bar.
You do? Can I see it? That is Drag Race history. You got this plot twist given to y'all in the workroom in advance, and you signed out your chocolate bar.
Yes.
You held your chocolate bar, and then you kept your chocolate bar?
No, so we all signed the back of our chocolate bars. They put them in a safe. And so if you were in the bottom, they pulled out your signed chocolate bar and you opened it on stage.
Major. Because you couldn't keep it and then like take a peek and like...
Yeah.
Whoa. So it felt fair. It felt unrigged. It felt like truly at random.
Sure.
You were in, I mean, based in 3 episodes, really. And you get to have like iconic moments. People, I think, remember you less as the person walking with like the bouquet close to her body. And they remember you more as like, it's chocolate.
It's chocolate. And I think too, I swung so hard at the reunion and the finale with my, so I think too, because how I left and how I came back, that's who she thought she was.
Yes.
Now she's exactly who she thinks she is.
Which I'm so jealous because you were the last season with a reunion. You came back for a reunion and new seasons maybe don't get that opportunity. Okay, you lip synced against, oh my God, you lip synced against Maddie. And it was a different lip sync experience than your time with Lizzo. How do you feel now looking back at that lip sync?
I just remember not caring. And I think that's just such a defeatist, attitude to have. I just remember being so over it and felt
Like
like,
after the critiques?
yes.
Oh, I'm so
I just,
sorry,
rem-
girl.
I just remember feeling like I maybe should have not, just because you get the call doesn't mean you have to answer it. And so maybe this was just not the right time. I was now looking back at it, I'm like, no, bitch, you worked so hard after it put a battery in your back, and I just remember like not wanting to be defined by that.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I don't even think like going like Maddie, I love Maddie dearly, but like to go home to a
Yeah.
straight person
Yeah.
was, that
Who's
was
lip
wearing
sync?
the American flag as they were sending you home was oppression at its finest.
Exactly. It was Colonel Sanders sending you all the way packing home, which was not
Yeah.
a good look.
Yeah.
So you leave that place being defeated, feeling you've been hate crime by a straight white man, and
Yes.
that you maybe were not ready. How many months later, how many years later, think to yourself, this was good. I'm okay with it.
I think right after I went home, I remember dropping all of my things off because I live in LA. And then, like we still can't be seen because, as early outs, the season is still going. And
Girl, I had
so,
to come back and not go to work, miss all my
mhm,
money. Like, I didn't get paid for episodes I was not in. I didn't get paid for
mhm.
shows that I was not at. And I was going crazy. I
Yeah.
was
So I
depressed,
remember.
depressed beyond.
Yeah, I gave myself 2 days to just not think about it and to just process what happened. And then I was watching Beyonce's Black is King.
Mhm.
And I just was seeing how every single song she had a video and a different look for them. And Beyonce's just always like the blueprint for
Yes.
me.
Yes.
And so I was like, wait a minute. I just remember I had never seen a queen do a video for every single category. And I was like, this is going to be either really iconic for me or an insane feat.
Yeah, or
And
like an insane waste of energy and time.
yeah,
And that's where I
and
am right now, not to interrupt, but I'm like, I've spent so much money and time creating all of the content around every look, and I
yeah,
don't know if anything is gonna pay off or what's gonna happen. But we
yeah.
still create, we still love
Because,
creating.
because the BFA is always there, baby.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yes, it is.
I just remember telling myself two things. A, you can't do this for anyone else. You have to do this because you have something you want to show. By far, that was harder than Drag Race. And I
Yes.
don't think people, because I was traveling at the time, I was, the season, like, I filmed a lot of it before the season started, but like when it was going, I was just like doing so many
And
things.
these are
And
burdens that we place upon ourselves
yes,
for ourselves, and then we're
yes.
stressed about the thing that we invented for ourselves.
Yes, I was so overwhelmed and
Yeah.
stressed, and I was just like, but
Girl.
I was like, that was the stress I would have felt in there, and I needed to feel that. I needed to
Mm.
feel like I did something, and that was
That
like,
is the race that we are in. The
yeah,
race that we've invented for ourselves because we didn't get the chance to do it there.
exactly. I
And
was like, I
we had to
needed
do it
that.
because we don't get a chance to be seen every week. So we had to make our own opportunities to be seen every week. Let Drag Race be a reality competition show that you enjoy watching, which I love watching, and let it also be an introduction to amazing drag artists. And
Yes,
let it be both things, you know? Let it be the place where people met Didi Fuego, met June Jambalaya, and said, there's something here. And then go follow the girl, go see the Instagram, and then
let me
also
dive
be,
in.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, again, it's a competition, but it's also an introduction. So
Hmm.
now we get to do with it what we want.
Yeah.
But when you left, you didn't know how you were going to be received. Talk to me about moments when you started feeling, oh, I am being appreciated. Oh, I am being seen. Oh, maybe this was worthwhile for me.
We had some time before the promo, and I remember I wanted to fuck some shit up with that promo.
You
And
did. That is a
I was
great promo.
I was like, you know what? I need them to know she is the fashion girl.
Yeah.
When the promo came out and like, everyone was speaking of like my garment and my makeup and my face and everything. I was just like, oh, okay, maybe this is not going to be, because we're so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, we
And
are.
we're so like, I just wanted to curl up into a ball. Like, I didn't want anyone to see me. I didn't want to watch it. I hadn't watched my elimination episode.
It's a hard thing to watch. I don't know how I'm gonna do. Let's talk a little bit about how the business of drag post show maybe has shifted in the last couple of years, and where do you find yourself as a drag queen currently?
I had no experience with like an LLC and the agents
And the
and
managers and the
the
contracts and
websites
the
and the
merch and the
merch. And I wish I had, asked where, how much is all of this merch is going to cost me and how much of it is going to cost me personally. And then wish I was honest with myself. Do you think you are going to sell all of this in merch with only being on there for 3 episodes? I had t-shirts, keychains, and all these things. I only had its chocolate stickers, and that's what sold out at my drag
of
con. I didn't
course.
even I didn't even dive into like, getting the bars, doing chocolate t-shirts. There was so much more I could have done, but because I had put so much into other things
You didn't know that
before
was
the
gonna be the
episode even
thing.
aired, I didn't know that was going to be the hit.
Yeah.
So I couldn't even maneuver, and my agency couldn't even maneuver into that because they couldn't, afford to put more debt into me.
I think that people don't talk about that as much. It's like we are focusing on elevating our drag and making sure that our drag is amazing and our shows are amazing and then we also have to be like the most iconic, wonderful businesswoman of drag that it's ever been. To make that
Yes.
all work is so many things to
Yeah, and
do.
then you really have to be behind a team that really believes in you.
Yeah.
And like, it's so important to like have someone that sees the vision and the goal of you and also is willing to, be in the mud with you to get there. I understand like this is such a business and like when once you become a drag race girl, your season is a business.
Mhm.
People are going to want to sign you, people are going to want to book you because they know you are popular for the next 365 days. But once that falls, they are no longer as invested
Mhm.
for most of us.
It's like so much pressure though.
Yeah. And it's like really, deciphering who is in it for the 365 and who's in it for,
The career.
the career.
Do you feel now that you have the right people in your corner?
I do because, as many people know, Jiggly was my drag mother. And
Love Jiggly. Rest in power, rest in peace.
yeah, I was so, 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 so fortunate. I think she became my drag mother 2 weeks before I went to the reunion.
Wow.
Because of her, I started to have what I never had, which was a drag family. And that's what I think sometimes we think like, oh, we need the agent, the manager, and all these people. You need core queens that was doing this shit before Drag Race, that started Drag Race and made it what it was, and that can tell you, talk to this person,
Yeah.
talk to this person. So it's up to
And
us as a community
yeah,
to take care of ourselves outside as well.
especially because being an early out, you know you're not going to get the same opportunities as the other girls. So
Yes,
what
yes.
opportunities are we focusing on and who's believing in us no matter what?
And then it's so weird because part of it's like, well, damn, I'm like, if I'm gonna make a couple of dollars for the year, like you gonna make some money, I'm gonna make some money, I'm gonna get out of debt. I'm like, let's
That's what
just
we want.
yeah,
At
I'm like,
least let's get out of debt. Are we out
yeah,
of
I'm like,
debt? Are we out of debt?
yes.
Yes. Where are we at, June Jambalaya?
It's so weird. I kind of feel like I'm in this transitional stage with my drag right now. I've performed, I've traveled, I've done a tour, and I want more. And it's
Okay,
just, and
what's
it's
on the
so,
horizon?
I'm not even 100% sure what that
Fine,
more
but you're
is.
ready for it.
It's all in due time. And so,
It's like the combination of kind of hope or delusion and hard work. And
yeah,
sometimes you're working with hope and you don't know what's going to come of it, but
all the time.
yeah, and there's still the knowingness of the next thing will come.
Yeah.
All right, sister. Okay, before I leave you, let's do
Hmm.
a couple of quick rapid fire questions.
Okay.
I have 8 rapid fire questions, and you get to pick 2. So pick a number between 1 and 8, and we'll get the rapid fire a going.
5 and 2.
All right. Question number 5 is, who's the most exciting or your fave celeb that slid into your DMs?
Ariana Grande.
You
Easily.
said with a quickness.
Yeah, Ariana Grande.
Major. Okay, what was that about?
First time she said I stole everyone's hearts from the moment I walked on.
Oh, so sweet.
Then she sent me a PR box of her REM Beauty, and I did a video. And she's like, "I hope you liked everything." Reposted. Then I actually messaged her recently about Wicked, and because obviously musical theater kid, like, and we both were from Florida, and it was just like, I was just like, "Girl, I loved it."
That is a flex. That is a name drop of all name drops. But also, like, I hear you. Like, as a theater person, you saw her wish and want for this and work.
Yeah, and that was in those type of moments. Click. She's been seeing and talking about Wicked since she was 12 years old, and like 30-something years old now. She's doing it. So there is no time frame to this life and this hustle.
Okay, 2 is, if you had not left on the episode you sashayed away, is there a challenge your season you think you would have left on? Or are we making the finale?
I think I would have left at the ball at any time.
So you left when you were meant to leave.
I just didn't expect the ball to be so early, because normally, like, and I did my homework. The ball is normally mid-season. Yeah. It's so crazy, because I do think I would have loved to go up against Jasmine and Georges in the Lollapalooza. And I then always think damn, bitch, I would have loved to put a talent number together for the grand finale. Yes. That's the shit that, that gets me going. Wow. All right. Well, on that deep and meaningful note, June, you're going to stay doing it. We're going to stay dreaming. Drag Race is the beginning of the dreams coming true, as I like to say. What are we telling people to do? Follow you on Instagram, get on the YouTube. What's going on? As we say our goodbyes. Follow the Instagram, follow the TikTok, and, you may see me doing some things. You may see me walking around, but, I'm never going away. As long as you keep seeing me. Yeah, you're just going to keep seeing me. And there's never a wrong time to tip a drag queen, so give her $1. Yes. If you see her on the streets, give her $1. Give me $1, and I know it's real. Thank you so much for doing this with me. Connecting with you is like a privilege and an honor to get your insight, to get your story. No, thank you for, thinking of something outside of the box to highlight a small yet mighty community of. We're holding space for the Porkchops. Holding space for the early out. It really is a special kind of parallel universe of Drag Race Porkchops. Yeah. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching Deep Dives with Didi Fuego, Early Outs Edition. Thank you for coming. Likes, comments, subscribe, notifications, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios!